Josh here with Bennett Bass Fishing, and we're going to go over the Senko. When I originally saw this lure for the first time, I did not know what this was supposed to resemble or look like, but it works on every species. I've caught probably 12 different species on it, bass in particular. So it's a little rubber stick bait basically. This one's black with blue flake, and I won't mention the company that normally makes these, but these are made by Riley's Custom Bass Baits. And so I'm going to wacky rig this. So I'm going to take an O-ring, which I bought off Amazon. They're super cheap. It's a pack of 100 for like $6 or $7. If you go somewhere else, they're pretty expensive. I'm going to draw the salt out of that. So I'm going to take my fingernails, kind of bring that salt to the surface. That makes it have a little more texture. Feed that in there halfway, and this is a wacky ring tool. They're like $2 or $3. Buy one. You can't put the O-ring on itself. Show you right there, and this is the offset shank worm hook EWG. There is a heavier duty version of this, and this is 3/0. There is another one that's a little bit beefier. I use both. Drop that, and then I'm going to take that hook, I'm going to feed it right under that O-ring. Don't grab any of the Senko, just let it sink there, let it in there. And so see that little action? And so what happens is, in the water, the hook will flip upside down, and this will kind of like flutter on the way down, and then the bass just can't resist it. So I'll show you how to fish it real quick. So I'm in 5.5 feet of water, and so this sinks at 1 foot a second. Okay, keep that in mind. So I'm going to count to 5.5. It should be on the bottom. If it goes any faster than that, I have a fish on. Okay, simple math. So I'm going to cast that out. I'm going to cast it in here. And if it drops any faster than that normal speed, then I have a fish on. So when it stops moving, I know it's on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that. It was just me twitching it. I'm going to let it soak there a little bit. And I can jig it a little bit, just kind of give it a couple bumps, see if there's anything on it. I can leave it there some more. And if the fish is there, they cannot resist it. They have to bite it. They have to. And I'm using 8-pound mono and a polymer knot on there. And when I reel it in, I'm going to kind of reel it in slow, and I can bump it kind of like a jerk bait. If you reel it in quick, you might catch a fish, you might not. They kind of tend to hit it when it's moving, and make sure you pull off any weeds off at the end. So that's the wacky rig. Now if you're in super deep water, what you can do is I folded this in half when I put it on there. You can actually pull the O-ring more, so it'll actually sink a little bit faster than 1 foot a second. So I'm going to test that out there again. Short distance, just so you guys can see it. Should sink a little bit faster. And like I said, it's hard to see right now, but if it goes faster than normal, or your line starts going sideways, you have a fish on. And then just set the hook. So I'm going to wear the GoPro for a minute, so hopefully I can catch some fish. I'll see if you guys can see the line. If not, I'll try to put a bobber or something on that so you guys can see it. I can also put something bright on there and see if you guys can watch the line. So one of the things about fishing the Senko is it's a weightless presentation basically. There's no weight on here except for the Senko, which weighs a little bit. They do make nail weights you can stick in each end, or nail weights in one end to pull it down. So when you cast this out here, you kind of want it to flutter straight down. So the way you do that is you want to cast out, and I want to pull the rod back just at the last second there. It lets it sink more naturally, and that's what you want it to flutter on the way down. That takes a little while to get used to practicing that, and then I'm going to let that sit and soak for a second. I'm in 3.5 feet of water. That's probably 5 feet out there. Missing fish. And every once in a while I can let that sink back down again as I'm reeling it in, and I can also reel it in slowly and it kind of flutters on the way back. I know you guys can't see that, but the other way to cast one of these out here is another way to rig it, and I'll show you. Concept, no O-ring this time, so it's kind of cheap to use. So you want to measure that little piece there, you want to stick the head of the Senko in there. Just like that. That same distance. Right through the middle. I kind of failed on that. Stick that right through the middle. Pull it out. Pull it up. Kind of like you would a fluke or a swim bait or something like that. And then do the same thing on this side. So measure where the J ends. Pull it back, pull it through. And now that's weedless and a little more slimline. It can go over the aerodynamic and hydrodynamic. And so if I'm doing like really pressured areas, this is kind of the way to do it. One of the tricks for seeing your line is to cast out straight in front of you, no wind. If there is wind, what you can do is kind of cast low, and it doesn't really matter how far you cast. But that helps you see your line, or if the wind is blowing, make sure it's at your back. It makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm wondering, I don't think I have a tube tied on. Monster! Felt that one. As soon as I dropped it in the water, the line went straight down the bottom. So that's how you set the hook in his stomach or at the bottom of the lake. Stop. See, that's what you need to look for, guys, right there is the line moving, and that way you get a really good hook set. Because this is pretty big for a smallmouth's mouth, so they inhale it completely. Get out of the weeds. Oh, that's a bigger one. Ooh, what a toad. What a toad, Randy. What a toad. Look at that. It's got maybe a lamprey scar on him. He's a couple pounds. Let's get him weighed up. So that is a summary of the Senko fishing. If you have any questions, let me know. I fish them a couple different ways. Skip them under docks, throw them into weeds, throw it with braid on there. It's a really effective lure, and it catches all sorts of things, which is fantastic. We've probably caught about 20 fish tonight, and it's getting dark, so I'm about to head in. Subscribe, let me know in the comments what you guys like the video. I'll have more of these coming out every week. And thanks so much.